Hello, welcome to Dakota Prep's video tutorial over a kind of an interesting situation here with motor compressors. Okay, so now there are also similar rules for motors, just regular old motors found in 430. But remember, compressors are found in Article 440. Compressors 440, right? This is for air conditioners, those types of things. Anytime you see that word compressor, remember we want to look in Article 440. So this is a short circuit protection question, right? It says, what is the maximum allowable rating for short circuit protection for this motor compressor? But here's the interesting situation. It says we have a motor compressor with a rated load current of 80 amps. It says initially we have a 150 amp time delay fuse, but that time delay fuse can't handle the starting current. So it's saying, okay, we install these fuses, but still when we start this motor compressor, it trips the fuse, right? The fuse can't hold that starting current. Okay, so it turns out we can increase this a little more than that initial maximum rating for our short circuit protection, right? And it's found in an exception in Article 440.22. A, and it's exception number 2. Okay, what it says is where your values for branch circuit, short circuit, ground fault protection, right, this 150 amps in this case, is not sufficient for the starting current of the motor. That means it's, we're blowing a fuse, we're burning up our fuse when we start the motor. The rating or setting shall be permitted to be increased, but shall never, hard line, hard deck, right? It shall never exceed 225% of the motor rated load current. So it says, hey, actually, the initial 175%, right? That's what we're typically going off. Hey, can exceed 175%. Well, you can go up to the next higher standard size per exception number 1. So exception number 2 says, you know what? Okay, if that's still happening, fine. We'll give you just a little bit more. We'll give you 225%, right, times our rated load current of 80 amps, but no more after that. That's the largest that we can go. It cannot exceed, okay, our overcurrent protection cannot exceed that number. That's the absolute maximum. So all we have to do is we plug this into our calculator, 2.25 or 225% of 80, and that gives us a grand total of 180 amps, right? So our overcurrent protected device has to be equal then or equal to, let me try this again. Words are hard, right? Our overcurrent device cannot be any higher than 180 amps, less than or equal to. Right, so now we need to go look at table 240.6a for our standard sizes and find the closest breaker below 180 amps. So it may be 180 amps or it may be less than that. Let's go take a look. Yep, well, it turns out the next standard size is 175 amps. That does not exceed 180. So it did help us out a little bit. We got to go from 150 to 175, but we better hope that that extra 25 amps is enough to carry that starting current.